In 1939, a crowd sits in a Moscow theater to watch a film that shouldn't exist. On screen, a severed dog's head appears to blink, lick its nose, and react to sound. The announcer calmly says, "We have revived the head." That clip would haunt me too. But here's what actually happened, and what it means. The film was called Experiments in the Revival of Organisms, produced by the Soviet Academy of Sciences. The star was a device with a sci-fi name, the autojector, essentially an early heart-lung machine. Designed by a surgeon named Sergei Bryukhanenko, it pushed oxygenated blood through an animal's body when its own heart had stopped. If that sounds like modern ECMO, you're not far off. The idea, if you can keep blood flowing and oxygen high, maybe death isn't a moment, it's a window. And that window, they believed, could be held open by machine. In the film, they show a dog's head responding to stimuli while hooked to tubes, and later a whole dog whose heart was stopped, then brought back by the autojector. Terrifying. Miraculous. Soviet science, punching death in the face. That's the vibe. But here's the reveal. The revived head wasn't proof of consciousness after decapitation. It was more likely residual reflexes and tissues perfused with oxygenated blood. Movements? Yes. Awareness? No evidence. Even at the time, Western scientists called out the film's staging, its edits, the camera cuts that conveniently skip setup. So was it all propaganda? Not entirely. Bryukhanenko really did pioneer machine-assisted circulation. Dogs truly survived heart stoppage for short periods and were resuscitated. Those crude trials, ethically horrific by today's standards, fed into a global rush to crack open chest surgery and life support. Think about it. Every successful bypass operation, every life saved on modern ECMO stands on a pile of risky, sometimes grotesque early experiments. The USSR wanted a headline, "We beat death." The reality was messier. We stretched the definition of death a little, and sometimes the patient lived. There were other Soviet forays too. Hypothermia resuscitation, cool bodies down to buy time, then rewarm with circulation support. Short intervals of clinical death followed by revival. The line between cutting edge and cruel was thin, and the cameras were selective. Here's the part I can't shake. The film worked. It shocked the world, and it steered the conversation. Some viewers saw monsters, others saw a blueprint for saving lives. Both were a little right. Modern medicine quietly proves the central premise. Death isn't a switch, it's a process. Cardiac arrest patients return after minutes with CPR and defibrillators. Cold water drowning victims come back after an hour because low temperature slows the brain's demand for oxygen. In ICUs, machines now do what the autojector clumsily attempted. Only safer, smarter, monitored. So, did they bring people back from the dead? Not the way that film promised. They pressed a door that was already ajar, and in doing so, they helped build the hinges we rely on today. And that dog's head? It's a symbol of two truths at once: the lengths humans will go to conquer death, and the stories we'll tell to convince ourselves we've already done it. If this shook you, let it settle into context. Early science can be ugly, but it can also light a path out of the dark. Thanks for watching.